I know I just hit the live button, but let's get that banner going and we'll launch into it. Howdy, everybody. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I am Kelsey D. I make comics. Today, we are counting down to the end of this campaign. The campaign for New Punk Signal and Fwishi'shi on Kickstarter. Now, the campaign itself is going to be at tinyurl.com/241campaign, link in the description. And want to shout out Jessica. Hello, Jessica. Thank you for joining us in the comments tonight. Ben will probably not be joining us in the live stream, whether on camera or in the chat, because he is currently at Zine Cincinnati, down in Cincinnati. So he's going to be MIA more than likely. Though, Ben, if you're watching this live and you want to shout out in the YouTube live chat, go for it. But it's just going to be little me sharing stuff about the Kickstarter campaign, some behind the scenes updates while I draw some comics. I actually took this last week off from drawing comics because of some behind the scenes reasons. So I'm getting back into it today. So looking forward to that. We'll get into some of the Kickstarter updates, but giving you the heads up now, we only have 6 hours before the campaign ends for physical rewards. I am trying out a new feature with Kickstarter that they're trying called late pledges. I think this is something that they borrowed from BackerKit and Crowdfunder, but late pledges allow you to support a campaign even when the backing window has closed. So I'm giving that a try with New Punk Signal and Fwishi'shi. The thing that I'm trying is the physical order rewards. And tonight at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard or Eastern Daylight Time, digital rewards will be available until next week, September 7th at 11:59 p.m. EST or EDT. So physical rewards backing ends tonight. Digital rewards ends next week. Oh, thank you. Your hair looks really nice. Did you get it cut again recently? Well, I'm growing my mohawk back out. For a while, I just shaved it bald because I've wanted a change of pace at the time. And also, I have a kitten who likes to play with hair. He has since grown out of the stage of wanting to play with hair. So I'm trying to grow the mohawk back out. But I'm glad that you say that it looks nice, because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh no, I look like a James Somerton fan, and I'm not. That's the last thing that I want to look like. So there's a little wild burr up my butt that's like, if somebody contributes $100 to New Punk Signal and Fwishi'shi on Kickstarter, I will shave my head live. Who knows if somebody's going to do that, though. Hello, Alex. Glad that you could join us. Oh, thank you for saying that I look adorable. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm at that funky stage with the mohawk growing out that it's like, it's not quite there yet. At least it can stand up on its own, just because it is that kind of texture that if I do this, it just does this on its own. Anyways, so I'm going to bring my canvas up, and what I'm going to be drawing while talking, I'm going to be drawing the cover art for The Legend of Jamie Roberts, Chapter 11. Chapter 11 is going to be starting pretty soon, within the next month or two. Oh, thank you, Angela. I like the mohawk. Nice at this length. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm glad that there are people in the comments shouting out that they like this mohawk even at this length. Yeah, I was coming across, there was a day, I think it was Wednesday, that I took a day to go into that was my ice machine. It's been hot. Thank you, Alex. Camaraderie going on in the comment section. I love it. Yeah, the ice machine's going off because, oh my golly, Mr. Molly, it is too hot to not have ice going. So that's what's going on over there. I do have a cup of tea. Today's blend is honey bush with some, I am blanking on the name of this honey right now, but there is a kind of honey that comes from England that's mixed in here. So I'm mostly, ooh, well, that's really good. Oh, that's a good question. Angela, how's your hand and wrist doing? I know that you've been having some issues. I hope everything's going okay there. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, I'm glad to hear that you're doing better. That is great. Yes. You know what? I'm going to take that button down because we already have the banner going along the bottom and there's a link in the description. So those bases are covered. Oh, I feel that. Haven't been drawing as much as I would. Lots of Sculpey. I'll admit it has been nice to take the last few days off from drawing because I'm giving my wrists a break. Though I am going to get back to drawing today because the itch. I need to satisfy the itch to draw. So, but I'm glad to hear that you are doing better, Angela. That is great. So I'm going to be drawing the cover art for The Legend of Jamie Roberts, Chapter 11. And I'll be talking about Jamie Roberts news later, but I'll go ahead and answer any questions that you might have about New Punk Signal and Fwishi'shi on Kickstarter. It is still running until 11:59 p.m. EST for physical rewards. Digital rewards will still be available into next week. More info will be on the campaign page, link in the doobly-doo. So, right. So this cover art for Chapter 11 for Jamie Roberts is going to feature Norsa because Chapter 11 is where the gang meets Norsa for the first time. I'm very excited about that, honestly. Actually, I need to put the comic logo here, so I am going to grab that from the Chapter 10 cover art. The lettering should be here. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay, so there's the lettering. I'm just going to copy paste that just to make that easier on me. Okay. Can't believe we're at Chapter 11 for The Legend of Jamie Roberts already. Oh, actually, I want to shout this out because recently I was interviewed for a digital pulp magazine. One of the questions that popped up in the interview that I did for that magazine, one of the questions was, Kelsey, how do you sustain working on a project over the long term? And I had given an answer that in the magazine, I do feel like is correct, which is find the thing that you find the most joy in. And then once you get to that point, find another milestone that you're really excited to get to and work towards that. But the actual secret that I forgot to share, I will go ahead and share it here. The actual secret for how do you work on projects over the long term and not burn out? My secret is breaks. I take breaks. Case in point, with The Legend of Jamie Roberts, I do a regular thing where at the end of a chapter, I will take a 2-week hiatus and not draw pages or not post pages for The Legend of Jamie Roberts in that 2-week hiatus. Hiatuses are important, and I deliberately structured The Legend of Jamie Roberts so that hiatuses would happen in chapter breaks. Highly encourage you to take breaks. I absolutely agree with you, Alex. Breaks are so underrated, insanely underrated. I'm not surprised that they are underrated because we do live in a culture that really pushes for constant productivity, which is not sustainable in the long term. So really the secret is take breaks. Take breaks when you need them. And I needed a production break this past week. So I took that. And I'm glad that I did. There we go. Ooh, I need to bring up another character art reference for Norsa here. Actually, you might be wondering, why are you drawing Jamie Roberts pages when you're doing a campaign for New Punk Signal and Fwishi'shi? And the secret is I already have all of the art done for that campaign and all of the like extra backer reward art done for that campaign. So that's nice. It is a nice problem to have, but it also means that I got to keep my hands busy to keep the demons away. So the best way to do that is to just draw, which is what I'm doing. I do need to bring up this in the sub view. Give it a second to load. I need to not look at that corner. The ring light is like right there. Okay, there we go. Cool. Okay. I had to bring this up because I could not remember how I drew Norsa's nose. Okay. All right. So, some behind the scenes updates for New Punk Signal and Fwishi'shi. I actually have to change who I'm printing the book with kind of at the last minute. Unfortunately, the printer that I was going to go with increased their prices. And while it is great that the campaign has risen so much funding, especially in 2 weeks, I'm so grateful for that. Thank you all so much. And we're still accepting pledges until 11:59 p.m. EST tonight. Plug. That said, not a fan of the fact that my go-to book printer upped their prices. It's not double the rate that it was, but it is still high. And I don't necessarily like that. So I am turning to a different printer. This printer that I'm looking at is based out of Illinois. So domestic, which is helpful. Yeah, I'm looking to work with Print Ninja, full disclosure. Just because of the specs for New Punk Signal, it makes sense to go with Print Ninja, because when I did the quote with them, it was like, oh, this is actually like cheaper than the 2 book printers that I've previously worked with. So heck yeah, I'll work with y'all. I do need to find a new printer for the bookmarks, but that is a separate struggle. I would rather not have to print them at home if I can possibly get away with that, because a portion of the grant funding from the Toledo Arts Commission, shout out again to the Toledo Arts Commission for the Accelerator grant to help make covering a lot of these expenses possible. But a portion of that grant was covered for bookmark printing. So, unfortunately, the book printer that was going to print New Punk Signal was also going to print my bookmarks, but this was the company that upped their prices. So I am looking for new printers for both. That's the behind the scenes stuff with New Punk Signal. Fwishi'shi is actually like 99% set up. I just need to do one final skim through of the print proof. And then once everything in the print proof looks good, I'm going to send the okay to the printer and we can get that to print. So Fwishi'shi is like 99% done. It's just waiting on me to approve the proof. And once I approve the proof, we're good to go. So that's there. That's the progress update with Fwishi'shi. New Punk Signal, the art is done. I just need to find a printer for it. So that's some of the behind the scenes tea there. This is okay. I have to shout out Under the Elder Tree of Wheeling, West Virginia, because that was where I got the honey bush tea mix that they have. It's delicious. If you're in the Wheeling, West Virginia area, or you can order from them online, get the honey bush mix. It's delicious. They have a few other mixes too, but the honey bush mix is what I am drinking right now. So shout out to them. Oh, you know what? Let's turn on some music. And okay. This has been in my head all day. So let's play. I swear to God, I will download other Louis Zong songs as soon as I can. I also want to shout out, while I'm thinking about it, a shout out to username Cakes on Ko-fi for joining the Zine and Sticker Club. Thank you, Cakes. I was thinking about that because I saw Alex's comment in the chat saying, ooh, yum, and it made me think of Cakes. Rough version of this. Oh, I did get new markers recently. I can show that off later, but I just wanted to bring up my composition sketches that I have for this real fast. Okay. So I need to put it in a place that's not right in the ring light. Okay. Is actually going to change from this reference image that I have up here in the corner. Just haven't decided how it's going to be different yet. So yeah, all this is to say I'm working on The Legend of Jamie Roberts because pretty much everything for No Punk Signal is like ready for print. Fwishi'shi is like just waiting on proof approval, and New Punk Signal looking for a new printer because the previous printer upped their prices on me. Actually, before I forget, I am going to set a timer. I'm not going to use the Forest app for this, but I am going to set a timer for 25 minutes, and we are going to pace ourselves. We are going to work 25 minutes, take a break for 5 minutes. Pomodoro method, folks. So that's what we're going to do. We have the timer going now. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the live chat as well. I have that going on my phone as like a second monitor type situation. Consulted my thumbnail. I will say, full disclosure, like, it is great that the Kickstarter is going well. Appreciate that. I do appreciate the additional patron who just joined recently. Again, shout out to Cakes. That said, I am looking at taking a seasonal job here pretty soon. I actually have at least one interview lined up, but I am looking to take on some seasonal work because I know how this plays out. Right when December hits, that's when work for comic stuff really dries up. So I'm trying to line up stuff now to cover my bases so that when the winter hits, I'm not living off of my savings for like 3 months because that happened last year. It's not great. So yeah, looking to take a seasonal job just to cover bills. That said, there are 2 campaigns that I am looking to run in the fall before any job shenanigans start taking up a ton of energy. I'm going to be polishing that hand in here in a minute, but one campaign, I am looking to run it in October because September, I'm going to take September to fulfill orders for New Punk Signal and Fwishi'shi. Oh, thank you, Alex. I just saw your comment saying that you pledged. I appreciate it. Thank you. If you pledged $100, I'm going to have to shave my head live on camera. That's just the thing. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. Oop. Just want to check something real fast. Dang, that is quite a jump. Thank you, Alex. Oh, dang. Amazing. I appreciate it. I did also see that I sold 2 Catacorn prints through New Punk Signal and Fwishi'shi on Kickstarter. So thank you to the folks who bought Catacorn prints, because I still have extras of those. I figured Catacorn would also be really fitting in the world of Fwishi'shi, because Fwishi'shi takes place in the same world as Johnson and Sir and Thoughtful Dinosaur with like anthropomorphic characters. And I'm like, the little Catacorn, I think that would do well in this world. Now, will the little Catacorn ever be its own story? I don't know. To be perfectly frank, I'm not sure. Because, like, I could not. Oh, I forgot. I was going to lower her hand here, so I'm going to have to get rid of that bicep. I really like how that bicep looks, and I'm going to have to get rid of it. So here's what we're going to do. I forgot the original thumbnail had her arm situated lower, so we're going to do pencils, OG arm, and turn that off. Oh, did I do a cut and paste? I thought I did a copy and paste. Well, I need to copy this part of the arm and paste that here, so we can move that down. Part of the reason that I'm moving this down is so that we can actually see the top of the staff, which is what I'm trying to go for here. Anyway, yeah, little Catacorn prints, sold 2 already. So thank you for folks who bought the little Catacorn prints through the Kickstarter. What were some other ones? I know that I saw a lot of people getting Roxy comics. So thank you for getting the Roxy comics, as well as Thoughtful Dinosaur. So those files are already set at the printer. All I got to do is email the printer and be like, hey, I need more. I was debating whether to just use the stock that I have for Thoughtful Dinosaur. I'll double check how much I have of Thoughtful Dinosaur. I know that I am out of Roxy, so I will have to put that order in at the printer. At the printer that printed Roxy, which was this is the problem with working with multiple printers. You have to keep track of like who prints what. I have my notes squared away. It's just explaining this out loud to people makes me sound like I'm not committed to a particular printer, but it's like, printers, keep your prices down. I hate it when you raise prices for printing stuff. I mean, I get it, but it's also like not really doing the creatives any favors by raising prices, especially without warning. That is my piece. That is my piece on the matter. All right. Any line tangents. Okay. Cool. All right. Now, a little point of inspiration here for this stool that Norsa is sitting on. So this is actually based off of the Asante King's throne, which is the golden stool. Or, no, the golden stool is its own artifact, but the king does sit on a golden stool. It's not the golden stool. But, yeah, this is a reference to a throne that the Asante King sits on. Also, Norsa herself is a reference to a lot of Native American myths about the white buffalo woman. In case you were wondering why Norsa is basically an albino, that would be why. I put entirely, I don't know if I want to say too much thought into the world building for The Legend of Jamie Roberts, but it's definitely a lot more than most of my other comics projects. I'm trying to think what other updates that I have for you concerning New Punk Signal and Fwishi'shi. Just really the printer change is the biggest one. I am hoping to put the order in at the printer sooner rather than later because there are some deadlines associated with the grant program in particular that I have to adhere to. It's part of the reason that the Kickstarter campaign ends tonight for the physical stuff. Again, digital stuff will be available into next week, but because of grant stuff, physical order requests have to end tonight. Because with the grant program, I have to spend the money within a certain time frame, and I have to get things done according to my objectives within a particular time frame. And I told them my time frame, and they were like, well, you got to get it done by September 30th. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. So I got to make sure that that happens. I do have it in my plan right now that everybody will have their rewards for this campaign no later than September 30th. So that's the plan. turn the lettering on. It's kind of in the way right now. Layers. There we go. They're a little bit more centered. Oh, the reference images. Hold on, I gotta pull up a different reference. With this cover art, I do want to add a little bit more detail to the fabric, like adding some patterns to the fabric, etc. Okay. Remember if I have any other updates for you for the campaign, because like again, the art's done, including the stuff for the secret menu rewards and the there is one stretch goal that did. I don't think I like officially announced this, but I'll go ahead and announce it here. We unlocked a zine called The Himbo's Guide to Cooking Chicken. I still got to draw that, but it won't get done, and I'm hoping to get it done by the end of next week. It's just going to be a really simple thing. It's just going to be a little zine of Mike and Steve walking you through how to cook chicken. Perfect guide for college people who never learned how to cook. Like me. That was me. That was me like a decade ago. I have since learned how to make really delicious things. Like the other day, I actually had sweet potato and bell pepper quesadillas. Turned out wonderfully. Because I finished production of The Legend of Jamie Roberts Chapter 10, I was like, I want to reward myself. So I hopped over to the Asian market that's here in the city. Real glad that I did that because that's kind of my go-to treat. Whenever I finish a big thing, I go to the Asian market and pick up stuff. So I just went over. Tell me you have an Asian market without telling me you have an Asian market. I picked up roasted cumin lamb skewer flavored potato chips. They were delicious. They are delicious. I still have some in a bag in the cabinet over there. Okay. Outfit options. Ooh, I've reorganized my files recently, so I can actually pull up some like pictures of some African costuming. Because a lot of the costume choices for The Legend of Jamie Roberts of the indigenous people are some flavor of like African flavor. I see the comments going off about the roasted cumin lamb skewer flavored potato chips. Yes. I also have blueberry mochi. Delicious. I love the blueberry mochi, and not just because I love blueberries and because I love mochi, but it marries my two favorite things, blueberries and mochi. It brings them together, and it's great. I love it. Also picked up a mango sparkling water because mango. Trying to remember what else I got. Pot stickers, which I want to cook at some point. I don't know when. At some point. I also baked a loaf of bread this past week because I needed something to do with my hands. And I was like, well, I'm out of bread, so I'm going to bake some bread. Okay. So I do have 2 other crowdfunding campaigns planned before December 1st. Just full disclosure. One campaign is for reprinting The Legend of Jamie Roberts, Volumes 1 and 2. Homemade bread is the best. Thank you, Angela. I knew you had good taste. I mean, you already had good taste, but yes, homemade bread is the best. So I have a recipe for like easy bread. I have one for peanut butter bread, and you can do all kinds of things to tweak it, including adding chocolate chips to it. So chocolate chip peanut butter bread. And I also know how to make avocado bread, which, as a friend described it, is the most millennial thing to ever be described, but it's a recipe from the 70s. So, in case anybody was wondering. Oh, Alex, I think you would appreciate this. The other day, it was actually Thursday, it was okay, this is the part that I don't think anybody would appreciate, but I'll be transparent. Oh, I haven't heard of avocado bread. I'll have to share the recipe with you. It's actually pretty easy. I have it written down in my little cookbook. But this Thursday, it was a really bad mental health day, just full transparency. So I took the day to not do anything strenuous, and I just played Spyro. And I'll tell you what, playing Spyro got me in a way better mood. Oh, and I see Alex also loves avocado. I'll have to share the avocado bread recipe on the Kannenstine Discord server. How about that? I can absolutely do that. Okay, costumes. Ooh. I could pull up. I did a portrait of Queen Aminatu way back in the day, like 10 years ago or something like that. I could pull that up. Playing Spyro just feels good. It does. They're such cozy games. I cannot tell you why. There was even a video essay that the video was called Spyro 2. Why does Spyro 2 have such cozy vibes? And I don't think they ever answered the question. They just did a step-by-step walkthrough of the game itself. Collecting the pretty gems just gives this lovely, rewarding sense of wonder. I'll be transparent. I was a really big fan of the soundtracks. Pat Icarus, I hear you, and I accept that you are of the opinion that the music is choppy and could be better. I respectfully disagree. I can kind of hear it, but there is just something about the way that Stuart Copeland composes the music that I'm like, I am willing to forego any potential errors with this music because it's just so dang good. Stuart Copeland did a good job. The Spyro music is god tier. Spyro 2 specifically? I think, he said, Pat Icarus said this about Spyros 1 and 2. On Spyro 3, Stuart Copeland got a co-composer on board, so the music is a little bit more cohesive in Spyro 3. And you can kind of hear it in, for example, the Fireworks Factory track, but I still love the Spyro 2 soundtrack in particular. Though I did play the Spyro Reignited trilogy with the original soundtrack playing, because that's an option now. There is something about listening to the original soundtrack over modern graphics that I'm like, this is my preferred way of playing this game. But the Summer Forest music from Spyro 2 was my first experience listening to music that made me feel closer to God. I'm not joking. There's just something about that track, specifically the Summer Forest track from Spyro 2, that just really hit close to home for me. And it still makes me stop whatever I'm doing to this day just to stop and listen to it. It's my favorite. To tweak that arm a little bit. Right, outfit. I'm gonna bring up reference art. It might take me a second because I did reorganize some of these files, but it should not take that long. Ooh, okay. I have quite a bunch. Just in the African references folder alone. Most of this is masked dancers, though, specifically of the Dogon people, though I do have this guy. This is a fun guy. This is from, I want to say, the Bois people in West Africa. I should know this guy's name because we had an entire segment about him, but this was in a class from like 11 plus years ago. So I have the note written down somewhere. Oh, the Autumn Plains soundtrack is also very good. Yes, this guy. This is the iteration of this costume that is okay for tourists to see. Because there is another iteration of this costume that is only for the initiated to see, and they do that ceremony separate. But this is the iteration that is okay for tourists to take photos of. The thing is, with this particular mask, they have to be guided by flute players, which is who that guy in the t-shirt is. The guy in the t-shirt is the flute player. He is the eyes for this dancer because there are no eyes for this costume. He is completely blind in this particular outfit ensemble. So he has to be guided by the flute player, and the flute player will play particular notes to indicate how that dancer should move. And the other thing too is that, and if you really dig on YouTube, you'll probably find footage of this, but one thing that that these dancers will do is will kneel on their knees, and then they will, that's the timer for 25 minutes. I'm gonna stop the music real fast. Here we go. But the thing about this particular dancer is that he will he will kneel on his knees, and then he will touch those feathers to the ground as a way to like bless the dirt. But the other thing that he will do is he will go up to the chief, and he will try to kneel and touch the feathers to the chief as a way to like bless him. And there's actually footage of this where like the chief will slip like a $20 bill or something, or the equivalent of, in between the feathers as like a little tip if they perform particularly well. So there is that. I'm not going to use this for Norsa though, because we need something a little bit more like a king or a queen would wear. But a lot of these references that I'm looking at right now are all masked dancers, except for this one. This is a Tuareg person, but I'm probably not going to use this outfit either. But yeah, that's a Tuareg reference. Anyway, I'm going to take a second to save my progress. And I'm going to take like 5 minutes to get up, stretch. I would encourage y'all to take 5 minutes to get some water, maybe a snack if you haven't had water or a snack yet. I thought there was going to be a burp. Boo Boo is doing a sploot. Boo Boo does this thing that we call the sploot. I have to take a picture. Hold on. Okay. Oh, she's not doing the sploot anymore. Dang it. I'm going to have to post it on Discord or Blue Sky. I'm probably going to post it on Blue Sky and just be like, this is the sploot. Boo Boo does this thing. Boo Boo's a cat. One of the cats. She'll just stretch out her front paws. She'll lay on her belly, and then her back paws will also stretch out. Like a land seal, almost. We call it the sploot. All right, I'm going to get up and stretch a little bit. I don't really need snacks. I already did all of my snacking before starting. Ooh. Oh, wow. I thought I had 7 copies of Jamie Roberts Volume 2. I have 6. So I'm going to have to, yeah. There's a reason why I'm doing a reprint campaign for The Legend of Jamie Roberts Volumes 1 and 2 in October. So keep an eye out for that. Okay. Boo-Boo, you are so silly. There it is. Excuse me. Ooh. Okay. Sorry, I had to stretch out my hips. Okay. Don't mind me. I'm just thinking of any other updates for the campaign. Again, shout out to Alex. Thank you for backing this campaign. Again, today is the last day to back this campaign for physical orders. Digital orders are going to continue into next week because I'm trying out a new feature on Kickstarter called Late Pledges. And the offerings that I have available as late pledges are all the digital stuff. I mostly set that up so that I wouldn't be like surprised if somebody placed a whole bunch of orders for like physical copies after the campaign ended. I wanted to try to avoid that scenario. So physical orders end tonight at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Said that wrong. Digital orders into next week. Trying to think if there's other stuff about this campaign that I have not covered yet. I is back with water. Good. Glad to hear that, Alex. I did do wrist stretches, but I may still put on a little cuff. Oh, excuse me. Oh, this is something that is said on the main page, but I'll go ahead and reiterate this now. Since a portion of this campaign is covered by the Toledo Arts Commission through the Accelerator Grant. I do want to clarify, the grant does not need to be paid back. The grant money is there for me to use for its designated purposes. And by its designated purposes, I mean, a while back I approached the commission saying, hey, I need funding for this thing, and this thing. Can you help? And they said, yes. So the campaign is, or the commission's accelerator grant is to cover the things that I asked for the grant to cover. The Kickstarter campaign covers everything else. Everything else that the grant cannot cover. I will say, with grant funding and what we've raised in the Kickstarter so far, this project has raised about $1,400 altogether. So thank y'all so much. Also, yes, I see that folks in the chat are coming back with water. #WaterTrag. Very good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. But the other thing is that the grant money does not need to be paid back. I believe I've said that already, but the grant money does not need to be paid back. This is one of those things where I have to spend all of the grant money. If I do not spend all of the grant money, I have to take the unspent portions and give it back to the grant, I believe. I believe that's what the agreement says. I'll have to double check the agreement, but I'm like 99% sure that was in the agreement. So yeah, all the grant money has to be spent, which, because print prices have gone up, it's kind of looking that way. I don't know why some of these print companies have upped their prices since 2 weeks ago, but this is a reality that I live in. Or at least this is the reality that I have to work with. Outfits. Okay, going back to drawing this piece of art. What music to play? Let's do... I do not remember this one. Oh, it's that. Okay. Not feeling that one. No, not feeling that one either. That one has a strange ending to it, so I'm going to say no. Here we go. That works. Okay. I think I know what I'm going to do for her outfit. I'm going to draw it in purple. Also, I'm really glad that I saw this YouTube short the other day, but sashes need to come back in style. They really do. Question. Have I read Sandland by Akira Toriyama? Not yet. It's been on my radar for a while. I have not read it yet. I want to, though. Because I know that was one of the comics that he did after Dragon Ball. So I do want to read it. But yeah, sashes look cool. I actually have enough scrap fabric that I'm seriously considering just making some of my own sashes. I do have a silk scarf, but I checked it this afternoon because I needed to wear something while running errands. But unfortunately, the silk scarf that I have is not sized to be a sash. And I'm very sad about that. So I'm going to have to see about making a sash or something. Cowrie shell anklet. I did see Alex left another comment. Let's see what it is. I just read it for the first time the other day. It was fascinating. Ooh. That is promising. Right now, as far as reading lists go, oh, I have to shout out, I finally read the first volume of My Brother's Husband. Oh my god! Oh my god, My Brother's Husband is so wholesome and I love it. It's so heckin' cute. Y'all gotta read it. I cannot gush about it enough. Also, as somebody who has started taking Japanese through Duolingo, there are some instances where, like, Mike, the Canadian, is trying to speak Japanese, and I'm like, oh, I could follow this logic, but I can imagine how this would be, like, really hard for a native Japanese speaker. Ooh, what is My Brother's Husband about? So it does start on a bit of a sad note. My Brother's Husband is about a Japanese man who is basically a single father. I mean, he and his wife are divorced, and he has basically full custody of his daughter. He had a twin brother, but his twin brother moved to Canada. The twin brother gets married to a man, passes away, and so his widower, Mike, comes to Japan and meets the main character for the first time. And it is a story about, especially with Japanese sensibilities, confronting homophobia and internalized homophobia in particular. And it's just, but it is a very sweet and wholesome story, because, like, Mike is a sweet character, and there's also, like, the main character is, like, he grows to be willing to re-examine his biases, in part because his daughter is just so accepting of Mike. Like, at one point, his daughter, Kana, I believe her name is, Kana asks, she basically asks Mike, who was the husband and who was the wife? And Mike is like, well, you see, I was his husband and he was my husband. Super simple. And she just goes, oh, I get it! And it's the cutest thing! I cannot get over how cute this freaking comic is. It's precious! I love it. I may have do one thing. Let me turn on the lettering just to be sure that what I want to do is, yeah. Let me actually Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do what I was thinking of doing. I'm gonna select this figure and I'm going to shrink her down a little bit to get her more fully into the frame and not have parts of her get cut up. Here we go. I actually don't like that. We're putting her back. There we go. Yeah, I'm catching up on your comments. Just looked it up. Oh my god, OMG, I've seen this on shelves. I recognize it. I first heard about it through Anime Abandoned. It was actually through their Chimera episode talking about gay space vampires, because the topic of gay anime and manga came up, which gay anime is still kind of lacking over in Japan. The only example I can really think of is Yuri on Ice, and everything else is yaoi. And yaoi's really more catered to, like, women viewers for reasons that Sage gets into in that Anime Abandoned episode. But he does bring up My Brother's Husband, the manga, because at least over in Japan, manga is starting to get more adventurous and accepting with the Rainbow Brigade, basically. You can kind of tell with Wandering Sun and a few other manga that exist that have more trans characters. Shout out to Boys Run the Riot. Also a very good manga. Oh my god, I need to read more of it. But My Brother's Husband, so wholesome. I need to read more of it. So good. Also, yes, the characters very much have great designs to them that you don't hardly see at all in manga and anime. It's basically beefcakes. So of course I had to read it because it had beefcakes. Like, I drew a new punk signal, which is about two himbos, and they are both very buff lads. Do you really think that I would pass up My Brother's Husband? Okay. Oh. So there is actually a costume detail for Norsa here that I'm going to incorporate here. And that is this kind of jeweled belt sash thing that she wears. It's a Nafrit staple, because she is originally Nafrit. Nafrit is a particular ethnicity in the world of the Legend of Jamie Roberts. They don't typically settle in one place, at least not for very long. It can be a lot more nomadic. Norsa is the exception to the rule. But yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that the sketch is looking cool. I am going to add a little bit more. I think gauntlets? Perhaps gauntlets. Or perhaps bracelets. But this is going to be a more ceremonial outfit rather than like an everyday one. So if I go bonkers with the bangles, that'd be why. Curtain behind. I should draw her face. That might help. we go. Polishing up some of these lines so we can see where what the face might look like. Okay. I was just kind of going on vibes, but I think I'm going to keep that. Throw this out there. If y'all have any other questions about New Punk Signal or Fwishi'shi, like what the story is about, how the campaign is going, or anything else pertaining to the campaign, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I will answer to the best of my ability. That reminds me, I did post recently in the campaign. Let's save my progress real fast. The most recent update, I did put out that if anybody had any questions that they could ask. I'm going to check that comment section just to make sure that bases are covered. Okay, we're good. Bases are covered. Yay. So far, 727 raised through Kickstarter and 640 through the grant program, which is a total of 1367 for both books. Huzzah. Again, thank you all for backing this campaign and helping to make it a success. We have 4 hours left as of this recording, or as of this live stream. If you're catching the replay of this, sorry, the order for physical windows, but digital rewards will still be available until September 7th. So if you're catching the replay of this and you're like, oh man, I missed my window to get the physical stuff, you can still get digital stuff. Link in the description. But yeah, August 31st, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, your last chance to get the physical copies of these books, New Punk Signal and Fwishi'shi, to pre-order them. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so. Oh, hold on. There's a thing. A weird feeling in my throat. Hold on. Here we go. I just needed some tea. Yeah. And then over here. inspired, pulling out my pens. Yes, join me! Turn this into a co-working stream. Heck yes! Know something? I'm going to throw this out to the universe, and I want y'all to hold me accountable for this. I just might do a charity live stream, possibly for Twitch, but I'm thinking about doing a charity live stream, playing Spyro, and raising funds for this campaign that's connected with the Cartoonist Co-op, of which I am a member. The Cartoonist Co-op has involvement with eSims for Gaza, and I'm thinking about possibly doing a charity stream for eSims for Gaza. So if that sounds like something that would be of interest, let me know, and I can see what I can do to figure out how to make that kind of live stream happen. Because I've not done a charity live stream before. I've not streamed video games before, but I kind of want to figure out how to do it. But for a video game stream, I would not want to do it for me. I would want to do it for charity. And I'm looking at eSims for Gaza because, again, Cartoonist Co-op is connected to that fundraiser. But from what I have seen, for one, eSims for Gaza is vetted, but eSims for Gaza is an effort to get eSIM cards to Palestinians to help them basically have their phones connect to a little bit large, because there are some places where they don't have signal. But that would be more than likely the charity that I would try to support, that or something LGBT related here in Toledo. But I'm kind of leaning towards eSims for Gaza at this point. We'll see. There are other charity efforts that I could do fundraisers for. If there's a charity that you think would be a good option for a charity live stream, hit me up in the comments. Leave it in the chat. Let me know. I might make another cup of tea because I am down to the last little bit, but we'll see. The thing is, I really want my decaf Earl Grey again, but there's a part of me that's also like, but you have so much tea in that tea drawer. Go through that first. But I really want my decaf Earl Grey. I want my comfort tea. I did not set a timer. I did not set a timer for this batch of work. That's fine. Okay, so here's where we're at with the sketch right now. Looking great, honestly. Yeah, I think I might move that curtain down. This portion. Yeah. There we go. Oh, before the music starts again. I need to get back in. Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm going to take a break for a minute to start the kettle. But Angela on Abe's account. More tea! I need to make a goal to get through my ridiculous amounts of tea. Boy, do I feel that. I have so much here. I'm actually going to shrink down this this view so that, well, first I need to save my progress. Very important to save progress, kids. Always save your progress. I'm going to lower the window for a second, and I am going to show you some of the tea that I have. Hold on. I'm also going to start the kettle. Okay. Today's t-shirt is Pusheen with a pizza umbrella. Okay, this is the tea that's just in the blue container. I have Very Berry white tea with fruit. I have glazed lemon loaf from Tazo. This is very good, but it is also very sweet. So I have to be in a particular like sweet tooth mood to drink this. I do also have the organic throat coat for if I'm ever sick, which is great. I have one bag of decaf Earl Grey. I have not drank this yet because I have a little personal rule with myself that I do not drink the last bag of this type of tea until I get a replacement box. So I'm just going to put this back for now. But I also have lemon and ginger. Very good for upset tummies. I also have a variety. I should probably throw this out because I don't know how old this is. Actually, I kind of know how old this is. I had this pre-2020. This has been in my stash for a while. It's from Under the Elder Tree, that store in Wheeling, West Virginia. It's called Sniffle Tea. It is specifically for when you get the sniffles. It has peppermint, elderflower, raspberry leaf, ginger, elderberries, yarrow, and I'm just going to spell this, HYSSOP. I don't know how you would pronounce that. I want to say hyssop, but I'm not sure that that's right. There is also, I've not had this for a little while because this particular mix, one flavor is low, Snickerdoodle cookie tea. So the Snickerdoodle cookie tea is made of 2 different flavors of tea mixed together in a particular ratio with cinnamon sugar added. The Snickerdoodle cookie tea is 1/2 of a teaspoon of hazelnut cookie tea and 1/2 tablespoon Emperor's chai tea. In case you wanted to know how to make Snickerdoodle cookie tea. So I have this, which is the Emperor's chai tea, and then I have this, which is the hazelnut cookie tea. These are from Savannah, Georgia, apparently. The Spice and Tea Exchange of Savannah, Georgia. I hope that you're still in business because that sounds delicious. I do also have instant Thai tea. I'm not sure that I trust this. I've not had this before, but it kind of looks like the sort of thing that you would pick up at an Asian mart, so maybe. But it's Thai tea. Does it have caffeine in it? That's another reason I might not have drank it. Contains milk. I can't really digest milk, so that's probably the big reason that I have not drank this yet. The last time that I had milk, like straight up dairy milk in a drink, was a root beer float that I had with Alex's parents like 2 years ago. And I got so sick that I had to lay down and pass out for 3 hours. I should not drink milk. Not cow milk, anyway. Ooh, I forgot I had these. Got to move that off the base or else it might melt the base. I had that problem with the last electric kettle. So I forgot that I had these. I have color changing hot chocolate mix and spiced apple cider mix. So those were just kind of like hanging out in the drawer. Ooh. I have that brand on my counter. I've had other brands of instant Thai iced tea that were fantastic. Abe can't have it because of the milk too. Yeah. Color changing? Yes, color changing. I think I had a cup of this previously. But yeah, color changing hot chocolate. I have a whole magical stash. And color changing hot chocolate? Yes, color changing hot chocolate. It's kind of sounding like y'all want me to make this color changing hot chocolate just to see what it looks like. Which I might. I might. The kettle is hot. I just took it off the base. Anyway, some of the other teas that I have include Healthy to a Tea, which I picked up from Spoiled LLC. They're in downtown Mommy. This, I think, has CBD oil in it. I don't know. So I don't drink this very often because even whether it has CBD oil in it or not, it is black tea, which means it has some caffeine in it. And I don't tend to drink caffeinated tea very often. Not unless I absolutely need something after a cup of coffee, which is not often. This is Almond Apple Delight. This comes from the Awakening for All in Oregon, Ohio, which is not that far from here. Oregon is actually one of the expanded bus stops through the Toledo bus line, so shout out to that. But Almond Apple Delight, it is also quite good. And I have here Honey Bush, which was what I was drinking earlier. It has honey bush leaves. Just straight up honey bush leaves. Because there's usually a lot more detail than that bar, but it just says honey bush leaves. So I also have Desert Rose from Rusted Leaf Tea Company. They are based out of Youngstown, Ohio. I picked this up during the Excellent Festival of Games. That was it. So I have here Rusted Leaf Desert Rose, which has rooibos, cadmium, rose nips, and rose petal. It's very good. It's very good. It does have a little bit of a medicine-y feel to it, though, so I don't tend to drink it too often. Winterberry, perfect for winter. So I'm going to try to save this into November as much as possible. It has red rooibos, honeybush, lemongrass, elderberries, purple cornflower, calendula, pink peppercorn, and orange and cinnamon flavoring. Winterberry. It's very good. That one was also from Under the Elder Tree. So shout out to that. And this is another Rusted Leaf. Indigo Breakfast. This is another caffeinated thing. So I tend to save this for guests. Guests who need something caffeinated, but not something as strong as a cup of coffee. Because that happens every once in a while. But this is made of Assam, blueberry leaf, and blue lavender bud. Indigo Breakfast. It is a very nice aroma. I will say that. It was one of the reasons that I got it. Okay, I have to stack these in a particular way. Like so. Kind of like that. There's still more. So many fascinating kinds. Yes, I have so many different types of tea. This is a collection that has been accumulating for the last 5 years. Just letting you know. This blend is from Shaman and the Bear. Okay, I had to double check the logo because it's like very faint. Are you a tea collector? I am an accidental tea collector. I am an accidental tea collector. I will say that. But this particular tea blend is called For Grace. This is to honor the blender's dog, Grace. So this tea has ginger, peaches, basil, and rose. Yeah, holy basil, diced peaches, ginger, marshmallow leaf, and rosebuds and petals and ginger. Yep. It is quite good. I don't drink this super duper often, but it is quite good. And then I also have Women's Balance Tea. If you have a uterus, you understand why this exists. So this has peppermint, raspberry leaf, lady's mantle, lemon verbena, nettle, partridge berry, and alfalfa leaf. I had no idea that partridge berry was a thing until I came across this. This blend I picked up literally 5 years ago. I picked this up on my 30th birthday in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, when I went to the Reading Terminal Market. There was a tea vendor there, and they had this blend, and it is still good. I don't know how they handled that wizardry, but it's great. So that's these two. I also just have loose jars of loose herbs because sometimes I just make my own blends. So I have, among the loose leaf, I have included catnip, black tea, though there's not very much. Oh, there's more black tea than I thought. There's a different tea blend that I was low on that I forgot about. I also have witch hazel and agrimony and eucalyptus and a few other things, including some rosemary. Some of this rosemary is fresh. There's that. I also have big pitcher decaf iced tea. And I think these are my last two. I'm going to double check that. Oh! This is Alex's, but sometimes I'll drink it. Pull me a cup. The Raven blend. This is cranberry blood orange black tea. I think she picked this up at one of the chain bookstores, Barnes & Noble or something like that. You need to create a tier maker chart with all these teas. Yeah. I probably should make a tier list of all these teas. I did run a little zine called Lazy Diana, and in Lazy Diana, the first page would often be a recommended tea mix. These are just straight celestial seasoning teas, raspberry zinger and honey vanilla chamomile. It's chamomile. I just like to say chamomile because of that one TikTok. But yeah. Raspberry zinger and honey vanilla chamomile. When I was in college, I drank the country peach flavor all the time. It was my go-to tea when I needed to sit down and focus on stuff. But raspberry zinger is actually quite nice. Honey vanilla chamomile is a good bedtime tea. I'm dead. There's a lot of tea. What can I say? I am a tea enthusiast. But, like a good bisexual, I drink coffee and tea. Okay. Of those things that I just showed off, people were very enthusiastic about this color-changing hot chocolate mix. Before I mix this, though, can't forget the third power and hot chocolate. Yes, you are correct, Alex. Tea does rule, but yes, hot chocolate is the third power. It's the third gender. I do want to double check with Alex before drinking this, though, because I don't know if she wanted to drink this or not. Granted, it is currently like 90 degrees outside. I have the air conditioning on, so her answer is probably no. But I am going to keep this in the drawer still, just in case. So, if I do end up drinking this, and Alex does not drink this, and I drink it, I will save it for another live stream. So be sure to subscribe for any hot chocolate updates. I'm not drinking hot chocolate on stream tonight, though, because hot cocoa does do things to your voice. I am going to have raspberry zinger. That actually sounds really good right now. With a little bit of honey. Ooh, 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 ooh. The honey that I mentioned. Oh, I love this little icon. Look at the little heart with the smiley face. It's so cute. Hot cocoa affects the voice. Any milk-related products will affect your voice because milk will generate more phlegm, and that will affect your vocal cords. So it's a common voice actor and singer secret to not drink milk or any kind of like milk product before doing a lot of talking in order to preserve your voice, or at least not have any weird vocal affects happening. But yeah, that's one of the reasons that it's one of the few things that what's his face, the director of Les Mis, the movie, Tom Hooper. It's one of the few things that Tom Hooper got right, which is he enforced that all of the actors not drink dairy or coffee, because coffee often has creamer, and creamer is a milk product, and that will affect your voice. But also coffee can also affect your voice in different ways, but it's primarily because of the creamer. But yeah, it's a common thing among vocalists who know this stuff. Fun behind the scenes thing for Promare enthusiasts. First of all, if you have not seen the anime Promare, I highly recommend it. It is actually a very good anime. But the voice actor for Gallo said in a behind the scenes feature, may he rest in peace. He passed away from cancer not that long ago, but he was in a behind the scenes thing. And he was talking about in his final sessions recording for Gallo, he had to switch back and forth between hot water with lemon. Sorry. He had to switch back and forth between hot water with lemon and a tea mix in order to help preserve his voice because there was so much shouting that he was doing. So this, I wanted to show this off because this was the honey that I had in my tea earlier. It is called Wilkin and Sons from Tiptree, Essex, England. Pure honey. I broke the seal because I'm having some of this with my tea. Because the only other honey that I have is like the store-bought kind from Kroger. But I wanted to give this a shot. Because this has been sitting in the fridge for a while, and I kind of forgot that it was in there. So it needs use. This spoon almost got stuck. Would have been bad. There we go. Back in the fridge. Honey doesn't technically need to go in the fridge, but this has been in the fridge. Bump my knuckle against the cabinet. Mothman! You don't need to feel down, I say, Mothman! I think of that stupid Tumblr meme every time that I pick up that mug. It's great. Okay. I am checking the temperature of the water in my lesbian disco coconut because I don't want it to be too cold. Okay, that's a reasonable level of cold. Because, like, you don't want to drink cold water and hot tea at the same time. You don't want to try to flip back and forth between the two. That was a tip that I picked up from one of my co-hosts of the Fourth Leg podcast. So shout out to Joe. Anyway, let us bring up this again because I have the pencils figured out. Now there's a part of me that kind of wants to like pause here and switch over to a different project and work on the pencils for that, but I don't wanna. So I'm going to start inking. Yeah, I'm going to start inking. Methinks. Yes. Yes. I'm going to, well, hold on. Another thing I'm going to do. Pencils, patterns. Okay. Ooh, let me pull up. Oh, what happens if you do? Oh, what happens if you drink cold water and hot tea back and forth, switching back and forth between the two? It's the same sort of thing that happens when something comes in contact with a cold thing and then a hot thing, and it causes entirely too much contraction and expansion back and forth really rapidly, and that can do damage to your vocal cords. So if you're going to drink one or the other, commit to one or the other. Don't try to do both. Yeah. So one of the things I want to do with this cover art is I want to add patterns. So for the sake of references, I am going to remove that and I'm going to show you some of the patterns that I have in mind for the costume here. This I think I'm going to use as a source sheet for some of the patterns that I want to incorporate on Norse's costume and on the curtains, and possibly on the wrist bangles. So there's this one. And I also have another sheet. Here we are. This sheet here. This, I did copy a lot of patterns that I found in a African textile resource from the Toledo Library. So shout out to the Toledo Library for that. Some of these patterns are from a technique called Bogolanfini, which is a type of mud dyeing process where you basically paint on fabric with mud. That's a rough description of it. But these patterns, some of them come from Bogolanfini, others come from other processes among different African peoples. So I really like these, and I want to try to incorporate these into Norse's costume. So these are the two image references that I'm going to be working with when drawing patterns for this particular piece. I'll see about scanning high resolution versions of these and posting them as like resources up on Ko-fi or something at some point. Oh, that's so hot. The raspberry zinger tea is so hot. Whew. Okay. Back to the costume. There was one on here that made me go, ooh, I want to work with that. So I'm going to work with that. I am going to reduce the opacity on the pencil layer just so I know what layer I'm drawing on. Okay. Now this does put some of this pattern at an angle, and that's fine, I think. Okay. Honestly, this particular pattern that I'm drawing here is kind of reminiscent of some of the hiragana that I've been learning from Japanese. Actually, I am going to not do this particular pattern because there's a circle involved, and the circle would overlap with her nip, and that's not what I want. So we are doing a different pattern. Ooh. I feel like this would actually be more fitting, considering that sunbeams are very much a aesthetic choice in the Legend of Jamie Roberts costuming, because the ray patterns that surround the doors are supposed to be reminiscent of sunbeams to keep Mokta out. That's a reference to chapter 2 of the legend, with Daniel being like, Mokta? Is that what y'all call rats around here? To which Basho is like, no. Mokta are very decidedly not rats. Okay. Okay, so that's the top half there. I dig it. I dig it. Okay. Another sip of tea. Hopefully it's a little cooler, but probably not. Now, ooh, oh, that's good. For the sake of the pattern, I am going to leave the sash blank because I don't want to overload with too many patterns at once. The sash will make for a nice break. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hold on. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that next to the mic. Zoom in on the bangles because some of these patterns I want to put on the bangles. So. I did not turn on any music. Hold on. It'd probably help if I turned on some music, huh? But I am a dainty motherfucker. Excuse me. Let's see. We've done Louis Zong's Rise and Shine. We've done Paradise Found. Let us do... Oh, yeah. Let's get a rave up in here. Okay. For anybody who might be curious, there is a part in New Punk Signal where it looks like Mike and Steve have a poster of Ganondorf in the living room. Mostly because I needed a placeholder for a poster at the time, but the longer I looked at it, the more I was like, yeah, no, these two would have a poster of Ganondorf up on the wall. they are nerds. So I just kind of left it there. I do know that I have somewhere in my stash of posters, it may be hanging, it may not, but somewhere in my stash of posters is actually a fan art poster. I do not remember this guy's name, but he did do a Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess poster, and Ganondorf was in the arrangement. So I'd like to think that the poster that Mike and Steve have up in their apartment. Oh, the dainty. Yes. But I like to think that the Ganondorf poster that Mike and Steve have hanging up in the living room is possibly like a fan art piece that they bought directly from the artist. That's how I like to think of it. Same with the Jamie wearing the... I think it was Jamie wearing the crispy hoodie. Oh, I found a whole bunch of Mystery Science Theater 3000 fans on Blue Sky, and man, I'm so glad that I found some fellow Misties. You know, I think tonight I'm gonna play some Mystery Science Theater 3000. I have not watched an episode of that for a hot minute. I might watch Horror Party Beach. Somebody made a meme of the the monster with the hot dogs in the mouth from Horror Party Beach, and the meme text just basically says, "I don't care what anybody says. I feel good about myself." Which is a quote from that MST3K episode. It's great. It's great. Okay. I'm trying to go with patterns that I have not drawn a whole bunch on other things up to this point for some of these details. Okay. Also, I have to shout out to Angela, because she was helping me with a particular application for a grant project, and I did not realize how much of my portfolio was cats based until she put in the descriptor for my work that cats were heavily involved. And I'm like, I mean, you're not wrong. So I think I'm just going to be leaning into that for some future projects. There may or may not be keychains or stickers or zines coming up in the future that are cat themed. People who are members of my zine and sticker club will have already gotten the Mermaids zine that I did for August. Glad to hear it. Absolutely. Okay, pants patterns. I have a few ideas for pants patterns. Ooh, okay. Thinking about like attention to detail for things. So bringing the conversation to Fwishi'shi a little bit. I am really pleased that I was able to give a shout out to one of my favorite bookstores to ever go to in that novel, in that novella, which I did an official page count for the novella. It's clocking in at about 89 pages, which is surprising. I wasn't sure how many that it would be. I thought that it would be closer to 100. There were some drafts that were closer towards 100. There was the first draft of Fwishi'shi was like 69 pages. Nice work. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's for Fwishi'shi. But I was able to wiggle in a reference to one of my favorite bookstores that I love to visit. It's out of Columbus, Ohio. It's called The Book Loft. In the novella, it's called Jenny's Bookstore, even though the proprietor is not Jenny. But it's called Jenny's Bookstore, and it is basically the Book Loft transplanted into this little town called Seabank. So the thing about the Book Loft is it's like 2 or 3 houses mashed together, and each room is dedicated to a particular genre of book. Like there's one room that's just kids books, one room for art books, one room for biographies, one room for music. The funny thing is there's actually a segment where you're like climbing up the stairs and there is a nook in the wall as you are climbing up the stairs, and in that nook are books about hiking, which is one of my favorite little additions in the Book Loft, and I love that that's there. I make a little nod to that in the book with Blue tapping his cane on that particular nook and going, they did that on purpose. Oh, I am going to tease why it is that in October I'm looking to do a crowdfunding campaign to reprint The Legend of Jamie Roberts Volumes 1 and 2. Reason 1, I'm sold out of the first print run. For the first book, I've actually had to do a second reprint, but I paid with that out of my own money. But if I can handle it, I would rather not use my own money to pay for that again. I would rather have that be like crowdfunded so that I know that people actually want it. I mean, clearly people do, but yeah, I do want to do a reprint run for Volume 1 of The Legend. And I do want to reprint Volume 2 because Volume 2's print run, I have 6 copies left of that first print run. So I want to do a second one. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a crowdfunding campaign in October, in like the first 3 weeks of October, for Volumes 1 and 2 to get reprinted. That's the plan. Stretch goals are going to include keychains and possibly a few other things. I'm still mapping that stuff out. As far as stretch goals for this campaign for New Punk Signal and Fwishi'shi, we've unlocked the Himbo's Guide to Cooking Chicken, which I will be working on this week. I have a exclusive mini print for people who are patrons on Ko-fi who back the campaign. So I have that art done. It's just a matter of getting it printed, which won't be that hard. I can print that. There's also some stickers and mini prints for secret menu options. The art for those are done. And that includes a sticker of Anti-Santa, which is one of the properties that Mike and Steve are big fans of, canonically in Validation and New Punk Signal. In case you were wondering why Steve, in the last live stream that I did, was wearing a shirt that said, "Oh, ho, no." That's a reference to Anti-Santa. Trying to think of what other stretch goals that I had in mind. There was one big one, but I might have to have this be its own crowdfunding campaign. And that is a audiobook adaptation of Fwishi'shi. Now, my initial thinking with the audiobook version of Fwishi'shi was that I would do the reading. But I don't know if I want to do it or if I want to hire somebody to do it. But there are also some expenses associated with putting out an audiobook production. So I may have to crowdfund that. I'm going to look into it some more and we'll see. My original thinking was that an audiobook adaptation would be a stretch goal for this campaign, but I do need to look a little bit more into it before I can commit one way. Well, I can't really commit to it now because we only have like 3 hours left-ish. Excuse me. I don't know if the microphone picked that up, but I did just toot. Excuse me. Sometimes I have to toot. Okay. Checking my patterns. Okay. I'm gonna have so much fun inking this in, honestly. It has been too long since I inked a piece with this much detail to it, so I'm actually very excited. Because this was the kind of thing that I used to draw all the time when I was in high school, was just people with super detailed costumes. I think that'll do for costume right there. I think I am going to add some pots, actually. I'm going to put a pot here. Put a pot on the other side. We shall see. Gonna make that cane just a little bit taller. Not too much. The title card is still there, but boop. Maybe I'll do taller. I think I'll do taller. It'll be getting up into the title card, but I think that'll be fine. As long as I don't have too many tangents. I think this will work. Zoom out. I like this better. Okay. I think I can start inking now. I'm going to group my pencil layers together. But I am going to do one thing. This is something that I do for patron rewards, which is I gotta save. Gotta save this as like the preview of the WIP files, work in progress files. Okay. Oop. Okay. I'm gonna clear out that reference folder there. And I'm gonna, whoa, can I get this to, there we go. Turn the music off for a second. We're gonna take that down and I'm gonna take a break. Mostly because I forgot to set a timer for 25 minutes for work purposes. So I'm gonna take a break now. Now's a good time to take a break since I finished the pencils. Okay. I need to run to the bathroom, so I'm going to turn the mic off for a bit, just in case. If y'all need to take a minute to run to the bathroom, grab some water, get a snack, now is your window of time. I'm going to put a little banner up saying that we're on a little snacky break, and I will be back in a few minutes. Okay, I have returned. Turn the microphone back on, and I brought over my mango cake snacks. Picked this up at the Asian Mart. I love these mango cakes. Product of Taiwan. The brand is called Golden Smell. I never caught that before, but I do love these mango cakes. They pair really well with tea in particular. I am going to snack a little bit. So we're going to dunk, not super long. Wondering what kind of special thing I want to offer if we hit $800 before the end of tonight. Because we are actually pretty close to 800. I probably should have thought of this ahead of time. This is why I am planning my next campaign in advance. Oop. Not the link I wanted. I wanted to check the campaign and see how we're doing. Okay. See about doing a screen share if I can. Ooh. Okay. Well, I can tell you that currently the Kickstarter campaign is at, oops. Sorry, technical things. I'm going to see if I can do a screen share really. Excuse me. Ooh! Heck yeah! I see that we have another backer. We just jumped up to 737. So thank you. Or we did. Looks like we're back to 727, but let me check something real fast. Okay, we're back to 727. Nope, 737. Okay. So thank you to Angela. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. It looked like my browser caught it like right as you were doing the like finalize button. So it got a little confused for a second, but thank you for backing. Appreciate it. View project real fast so that I can show y'all where we are at. Here we are, Chrome. Okay, here is how we stand with the campaign so far. We have raised 737 out of a $100 goal, which heck yes, heck yes. 18 backers, 3 hours to go. As of right now, live, by the time you're catching this replay, sorry, But I'm wondering if we can get to 800 before the end of tonight, or even 20 backers, because right now we're at 18 backers. If we can get to 20, heck yeah. If we get to 20 backers, I will throw in a free coloring book page that y'all can download, that backers can download. If that is of interest. Because it took me a second, but I'm like, yeah, I have some coloring book pages that are thematic to both of these that I have sitting around that could work. But I also have mini prints. So we could also do mini print offerings. Because I have a lot of mini print paper. So we could do mini prints. Let's do mini prints. If we can get to 20 backers before the end of tonight, I will throw in, I'm thinking, a mini print of Fwishi'shi, the art that I did of him for the Stars of Fantasyville sketchbook. Because I did art for Fwishi'shi, Roshin, and Blue, as well as a fourth character that I'm not going to spoil. You're going to have to read the novella to know who the fourth character is. But there's a fourth character that I did art for. I think I'll have art of Fwishi'shi available as a mini print for backers. If we get to 20 backers before the end of tonight, if we can get to $800 before the end of tonight, I will throw in the mini print of that fourth mystery character from Fwishi'shi into folks' backer rewards. So we have 3 hours to hit either of those goals before the end of tonight. So if we can hit those, if we can hit 20, I will throw in a mini print of Fwishi'shi. If we hit $800 in funding, I will throw in the mini print of the fourth mystery character from Fwishi'shi. Gauntlet thrown! Because I have art for those. And they are ready to go to be made into mini prints. So, not hard. All right, let me turn that banner off and get... I think I might stream for just a little bit longer, but I do want to wrap this up by either 8:30 or 9, depending on how hungry I feel. Because while I do have my tea cakes, I do need something a little bit more substantive. Anyway, let me get those pencils back up real fast. Okay, so we got that. Excuse me. Okay. Let me just make sure real quick that, it would probably help if I shared the screen. Clip Studio. Yep. There we are. I got to head out. Need to go grab some dinner. Good luck with the rest of the stream and Kickstarter. Thank you, Alex, for joining us for as long as you have. Have fun with dinner. Hope it's tasty. Or as the Japanese would say, oishi. I think I'm saying that right. I'm still learning Japanese on Duolingo. I might actually take a break from Japanese for a little bit and switch back over to Spanish because I want to get better at Spanish. Because I'm kind of beginner intermediate with Spanish. Or at least I was. I am very rusty. I'm going to have to get back into it. Thanks for streaming, laters. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how frequently I can get back to streaming once Kickstarter shenanigans have wrapped up. And also depending on if I get a part or 3/4 time job for the season. It kind of depends on a lot of things. So I'm not making any promises about when the next live stream is going to be. Or the next short, for that matter. Or the next video. Because, like, after this live stream, I'm going to be getting into hardcore Kickstarter fulfillment mode, which means doing a lot of back and forth with, like, printers and getting stuff printed and ready and wrapped and getting the shipping supplies needed. So there's going to be a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So don't know fully yet what any Kickstarter, well, what any like YouTube update schedule is going to look like. So I'm not going to make any promises right now. Once this next week wraps up, I'll have a better idea. So I'll do my best to keep you posted on all of my outlets, including my website, link in the doobly-doo. But also keep an eye on the YouTube community page here. So, yeah, I think I need to not have the phone where the ring light is. So let's start inking. We're probably not going to ink this fully in the next 10 to 40 minutes, but we are going to make progress. And I am going to turn on music because I need music on. All right, let's do. Maybe. Nah, not that one. Nope. Nope. Nah, too chill. This one. This one's also kind of fitting because the name of this track is Odyssey. And we have been on an Odyssey in this particular Kickstarter campaign. I've actually been on a journey this month. Because there was this campaign, yes, but there were 3 other campaigns happening at the same time. 2 of them were ones that I was connected to, and one was from the Cartoonist Co-op. The Cartoonist Co-op one seems to be doing relatively well, so heck yeah. But yeah, I was heavily involved with the promotion campaign for Universal Flaws of Robotics. Apologies to all of my newsletter subscribers. I appreciate your patience during that time. Also was involved with C Stands For from the Columbus Cartoon Coalition. Full disclosure, once we have some of the things handled for that campaign behind the scenes, I am going to be stepping back from my executive board role with the Columbus Cartoon Coalition so that I can focus more on my work. So, just full transparency for any Columbus Cartoon Coalition members who might be catching this, that I will be stepping down from the executive board. I will be a regular old member very soon. Just full disclosure. I need to bring my phone back over here so I can keep a tab on the live chat. I need the screen to not rotate. Before I start inking. Okay. I wanted to finish that tea cake before moving on to anything else? Oh. Bree is a loaf by the glass doors. She does not often loaf over there. Goodness. I did not draw her eyebrows. Okay, fixed the eyebrows. So just to reiterate, if we hit 20 backers before the end of tonight, we will unlock a exclusive mini print of Fwishi'shi, the main character of Fwishi'shi. If we reach $800 in funding before the end of the night, I will include a mini print of a mysterious fourth main character from Fwishi'shi in folks' reward packages. To back the campaign, the link is scrolling along the bottom, tinyurl.com/241campaign. That's the numbers 241 campaign. Link is scrolling along the bottom. Link is also down in the description. Little plug for that. If you'd like to keep up with future crowdfunding campaigns, including the one that is coming out in October, sign up for my email newsletter. Link for that will also be in the description. Newsletter is also the best way to keep up with my webcomic updates, because I have The Legend of Jamie Roberts as well as Benita and the Demon King. The Legend of Jamie Roberts is about a juniper pirate and their two best friends treasure hunting in a land full of dragons, and why that is an idea. Benita and the Demon King, it is about a demon king who gets punched into the future 1,000 years and has to crash on the couch of a trans woman. Links for both are going to be through my comics link down in the description. New Punk Signal, the one comic that is on Kickstarter right now, is about two himbos in the pandemic who start a podcast to try to connect with their community and signal boost their friends. Fwishi'shi is about a anthropomorphic birdman character who runs a radio show who meets a fan of his, and then his life changes as a result of meeting this woman. It is a very platonic love story. If either of those stories sound interesting to you, they are both on Kickstarter right now. Tonight, August 31st, is the last night that you can pre-order physical rewards. So if you want to get the physical copies of these books, you got to back it tonight. Free. I am trying to tell the good people about this campaign. You don't need to start so long. Would you like to send it back? Would you like to that said, if you are catching the replay of this live stream, digital rewards for this campaign will be available in the form of late pledges, which is a feature that I'm trying out. It's new for Kickstarter. But digital rewards will be available as late pledges up until September 7th. Some will close out September 6th, but September 7th overall. For the digital stuff. I'll revisit that line later, but I just didn't want there to be a tangent. I do think I'm going to wrap this stream in just a minute because I'm getting hungry. Lock the pixels real fast and tidy up some of these lines. Oh, I forgot I had the pixels locked. Probably helped if I unlocked them. I'm also thinking of wrapping this up because I'm kind of running out of things to talk about. So there is that too. I don't know if the microphone picked that up, but that was the ice machine again. Yeah, I think wrap it up there. But we're making some good progress here. We're going to wrap up the stream here. So this is our progress on the cover art for The Legend of Jamie Roberts, chapter 11. 11 chapters. Holy banana pants. We are making such good progress on this comic, yo. But New Punk Signal and Fwishi'shi are both finished stories. So if you're looking for something that is self-contained, I would recommend New Punk Signal and Fwishi'shi, both of which are on Kickstarter now. Link in the description and along the bottom. It is tinyurl.com/241campaign. I'm going to check the campaign one more time before wrapping this up. Okay, we are at $737 raised, 18 backers, 3 hours to go. Hot dang. Thank you all so much for bringing us this far. This is amazing. I'm so glad that the pitches for New Punk Signal and Fwishi'shi really resonate with you. Now, there is also grant funding from the Toledo Arts Commission to help make both of these books possible. In case you were wondering, hey, why 2 books on such a low budget? It's because we have some grant funding to help cover portions of this. But the Kickstarter funding will cover what the grant cannot. So the fact that all of y'all have backed to such an extent is like, that means a lot to me. It means that you really want these books to come to life, and that's awesome. So if we can hit 20 backers before the end of tonight, August 31st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, if we can get 20 backers, I will include a mini print of Falu Sabiris, the main character of Fwishi'shi, in all backer packages. If we can get to 800 in funding before the end of tonight, August 31st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. If we can get to $800, I will throw in a mini print of a mysterious 4th main character from Fwishi'shi. I will throw in a mini print of this person in all backer rewards. Tonight is the last night that you can back and get a physical reward that includes physical copies of these books, as well as the Caticorn print, original art, and several other add-ons. The Roxy books and Thoughtful Dinosaur books are also only available until the end of tonight. After tonight, digital rewards will be available as late pledges, which is a new feature that Kickstarter has enabled. The late pledges will be accepted until September 7th. That's all I've got for now. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and have some dinner. I would encourage y'all to do the same. I appreciate you tuning in and watching. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope you like what you saw. Hope you check out the campaign. Link in the description. Even if we don't hit the goals, that's still amazing that we've gotten this far. So thank you all so much for your support. Thank you, Angela, Alex, and everybody else hanging out in the live chat. Also Jessica. Also shout out to Cakes for joining the Zine Plus Sticker Club on Ko-fi. More information on that in the description. There's also shout outs to all of my members on Ko-fi down in the description. So wanted to shout out them. And that's all I've got for now. Check out the campaign. Link on the screen. Thank y'all so much for watching. You are awesome.